Hey everyone, and welcome. Get ready, because today we are officially becoming history detectives. And we're not just solving any old mystery, we're tackling the biggest one of all time. Where did we actually come from? And how in the world do we know? We're going to travel way, way back in time to crack the code of our ancestors. You ready? Let's do this. Okay, but first, just picture this. Imagine a world with zero books, no writing at all. No internet, obviously, no phones. I mean, absolutely no way to record anything. So, how would anyone, hundreds of years from now, even know you existed?
Seriously, think about it. How would you tell your story? The story of your life, your family, your friends, everything that makes you, you. How do you make sure that story survives for thousands of years? It's a huge puzzle, right?
Well, guess what? You've just teleported into what we call prehistory. That's the massive chunk of time before writing was even invented. And your new official job title? History Detective. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to piece together the entire story of humanity with nothing but the clues they left behind. No pressure. Okay, so every good detective needs a detective kit, right? A special set of tools to crack the case. For us, history detectives, our kit is packed with something called historical sources. These are the clues, the evidence, that help us figure out what actually happened in the past. So let's open up the kit and see what we've got. All right, let's kick things off with a little riddle to get those detective brains warmed up. Ready? Here it is. I don't have a voice, but I tell incredible stories of kings and epic legends. I can be written down or I can be sung as a song, passed down from one person to the next. So, what am I?
Did you guess a story? Or maybe a song? You are totally on the right track. The answer is a literary source. Think of these as all the stories from the past. You've got the written ones, things actually put down on paper or scrolls. And then you have the oral ones, the stories that were just spoken or sung, passed down through generations, like awesome folk tales about heroes and monsters.
Nice work, detective. You're getting good at this. Let's try another one. Riddle number 2. I'm usually buried deep in the ground, just waiting for someone to find me. I could be a piece of a broken pot, a really old coin, or maybe even a bone. What am I?
You got it. It's an archaeological source. This is the actual stuff that people left behind. The physical objects they made and used. And the detectives who specialize in finding this stuff, we call them archaeologists. They're the ones who carefully dig these clues right out of the ground.
All right, time to get organized. Let's open up our official detective's case file. As you can see, all our clues, all our sources basically fall into two main folders. In one folder, we have literary sources. That's all the stories, written or spoken. In the other folder, we've got the archaeological sources, all the physical objects, from tiny coins to massive buildings. And trust me, every single one of these clues is a crucial piece of the puzzle.
So let's put two clues side by side. On one side, you've got written literature, maybe a story written on a delicate leaf. On the other side, an inscription, a powerful message carved right into solid stone. See the difference? One is kind of personal and fragile, it could easily get lost. The other is a public announcement meant to last forever.
And what about this? On the left, you have oral folklore, a story that only exists in people's minds, passed along by word of mouth. And on the right, a giant monument, a story told not with words, but with stone, standing there for everyone to see for hundreds of years. One clue you hear, the other you see, but both tell us so much.
All right, detectives, our kits are packed. We know our clues. It is time to tackle our very first case. We are entering Level 1, the Stone Age. We're talking about the very, very beginning of the human story, a time when the most high-tech gadget you could get your hands on was literally a rock.
But don't let the name fool you. The Stone Age was incredibly long, and a ton of stuff changed. This level actually has 3 substages. First up, the Paleolithic, or the Old Stone Age. Then comes the Mesolithic, the middle one. And we finish up with the Neolithic, or the New Stone Age. Each one of these was a huge leap forward for our ancestors.
So, way back in the beginning, during the Paleolithic era, people were nomads. That means they were always on the move, wandering around, hunting animals, and gathering plants to eat. And to survive, they unlocked their very first key piece of tech, the stone hand axe. I know, it doesn't sound like much, but this simple tool was a total game changer for cutting, digging, and, well, everything.
Okay, but let's be real. Wandering around all the time sounds exhausting. Imagine having to search for your dinner every single day. What if there was some kind of ultimate cheat code? You know, a hack that would let you have food right where you live so you could finally stop moving and just settle down. You know what it is? Farming. And listen, this wasn't just a good idea. This was the discovery that changed absolutely everything. Instead of just chasing their food, people figured out how to grow it. That one single breakthrough sparked the biggest revolution in human history. It's the reason we have villages, cities, it's the reason we have the world we have today.
So, once humans had stone tools and farming down, it was time to level up. Welcome to the Metal Age. People figured out that if you heat up certain rocks, you can get shiny new materials out of them, like copper. Then they figured out how to mix those metals to make even stronger stuff, like bronze. And just like that, humanity forged a completely new future for itself.
So why was metal such a huge deal? Well, think about it like this. A stone tool is pretty useful, sure, but if it breaks, it's just a broken rock. You have to start all over. But a metal tool, first off, it's way stronger and sharper. And the best part, if it breaks, you can just melt it down and make a new one. It was a total, absolute game changer.
And this one discovery set off this incredible chain reaction. Ready? Better metal tools meant better farming. Better farming meant way more food. More food meant that not everybody had to be a farmer anymore, so people started doing other jobs. And all of that, more food and different jobs, is what allowed the first giant civilizations to pop up and grow.
Okay, team, we've collected a ton of clues from all these different ages. But a detective's job isn't just finding the clues, right? It's about putting them in the right order to tell the story. That's called chronology, and it's super important for keeping the story of history from becoming a jumbled mess.
Yeah, putting everything in order can be a little tricky, so historians use a giant timeline to help out. The easiest way to think about it is like a number line. In the middle, you have year 1. Everything that happened after that counts up normally. Year 2, year 100, all the way to right now. We call this the Common Era, or CE. But for everything that happened before year 1, the numbers count backwards, kind of like negative numbers. That's the Pre-Common Era. This simple system lets us put every single clue exactly where it belongs on the timeline.
And just like that, your training is complete. You know what kinds of clues to hunt for, you know the different levels of prehistory, and you know how to put it all on a timeline. Which means it's time. Your first official case is about to begin.
But before you go, you have to remember the number 1 golden rule for every single history detective. And it's this: without a proper source, without that story, or that piece of pottery, or that bone, there is no history. It's all just guesswork. Your mission, always, is to follow the evidence.
So here are your first case assignments, straight from the History Lab. Assignment 1. Become a curator and create a mini museum using artifacts from your own home that tell your family's story. Assignment 2. Get your map out and find some of the ancient sites in Karnataka. And Assignment 3. Record your own oral literature by interviewing a grandparent or older relative about their life. The past is literally all around you, detectives. Now, go find it.